All right, it looks like I'm live. Having a little snack while I go over to YouTube so I can see things the way you guys see things. All right, here we go. I should already be muted. Hey, Steph, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Oh, wow, people are popping into the room. Hey, Darla. Hey, Robin, Kat, and Carla. Oh, no worries, Tammy. We're happy to have you whenever you can make it. You're good company. Jersey, hello again. And Kat's in the house. Brenda's back and lurking. Well, this is the paper pack. Right here, these are the colors. I'm not shy. I'll show it to you again. If you give me just a second, though, because I'm shoving some food in my face. Dinner's important, though. Dinner's very important. So what have you guys been up to today besides work? Oh, chorizo hash. Well, I'm not a fan of chorizo, but I bet it was good. It's mostly the smell. I just can't get past it. I know a lot of people really like it. I know there's just a lot of people out there that really dig it. I imagine so. Steph, you're a fan of chorizo? So this is actually called papyrus. And it is, where did the brown go? Oh, it's hiding. So let's see. This is papyrus. This is it's kind of a tan with yellow undertones. It's meant to look like, you know, when the leaves turn in the fall and they get kind of that weird brownish yellow color. That's kind of what I was shooting for. Then we have red, purple, orange. This is a dark cocoa brown, but it also comes in this lighter color. So in the kits, I don't have any way of knowing. It could be either color, a mix of both. But it does have some shine to it. It's got a little bit of, you like Mexican chorizo, Spanish chorizos, ugh. Ah! So this has some sparkle to it. It's the only color in the pack that does. But coming up, if you guys have enjoyed the sparkle, I'm going to do it on the midnight paper, which is coming up, I think in September. And then maybe on the gray as well for the mid-month. Thank you, Robin. And I wasn't sure I was going to like this, and I actually kept a pretty good chunk of this for myself because it just grew on me, and I really, really like it. I think it's going to be great in some fall journals. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate your compliments. That is awesome. So in the kit, there's 5 of each color plus 15 of the tea dyed. So this is our unwinding period. I know the One Witch and the One Crazy Lady is on tomorrow. I'm not sure whose channel it's on, though. Because we didn't have it last week. Just the Late Night Lunatics was last week. And so I think it's going to be on Elsa's channel, but I could be wrong. You love all the colors. Thank you. So this is meant to be a sampler pack for all the fall colors that are coming up. Into my Etsy store, I'm going to release all of these colors. You know, I don't have tons of it, but I have enough to release a small amount of each color into the Etsy shop. Probably around the same time that the burgundy paper comes ready. This pack is $17.99 and includes the shipping. So this is meant to be a sampler to get you so that you can see what's coming up and have a chance to like get your hands on it before you have to choose if you want to, you know, if you might want a 10 pack or a 25 pack, or if you really hate that color and you're so glad you didn't buy a 10 pack or a 25 pack of it. So this is just meant to be a sampler of the fall colors that are coming out. Hello, Curly. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back and joining us again. Sure. Absolutely. You know, we don't do any hard sells here. You buy what you want to buy. If you just want to come and hang out, you come and hang out. There is never meant to be any pressure for anybody to have to buy here. You can hate my paper and still hang out here. That's okay. Tammy, it's your last name starts with the N, right, Tammy? Steph, this paper pack is $17.99 and it's 15 tea dyed sheets and 5 of each color for a total of 50 pages. I just want to make sure I've got the right Tammy. I think your last name starts with an N, and we'll put at the Crafting Disaster. I think I'm thinking of the right person, but you know, every now and then my brain goes. I thought that's what it was, but okay, so we're going to do mid. And would you like to be invoiced? Eventually, I'll learn your preference, and I won't have to ask you every time. But my brain is like Jell-O. Nothing sticks in there without some serious effort. Do you want to be invoiced, or do you want to do friends and family? Okay, if you are ready, prepared to pay for it now, you are welcome to. And y'all know there's always about a week's period, a week to 10 days that you have to pay if you need to wait for a payday or anything. I have not done olive green yet. I have some dye to test. I have a green that's actually called olive dye in a brand I don't normally use that I'm going to do a test run on. Let me write your name down, Robin, in the back of my book here. And when I do the test run, Robin, olive green. Because it's going to be a color of the month in the new year, and I always like to do a test run. So I may run like that color plus a mix. I try and mix myself, but I will send you a few samples. I would love to get your feedback on that since it's a color you're looking for. But it is something that I'm going to test, and that it is going to be a kit coming up. So if you're amenable to it, I will send you a small sample when I dye it, and you can let me know what you think. But only if you give me your honest opinion. If it sucks, I want to know. Okay. Peggy, welcome back. Welcome, welcome. So we were talking about events that are upcoming. So Els and Witchy's One Witch and One Crazy Lady show is on tomorrow night. That's usually followed by Late Night Lunatics on Els's channel, which is, a fun free-for-all chat. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate you being my guinea pig. All right. I will have a look at that, Tammy, to make sure I've got that in. And then on Wednesday, I'm having my Patreon-only live stream. It's a magazine harvest. So on Wednesday morning, last week's will go live on my channel. There's like a week delay before it hits my channel for the Patreon-only content that's on Wednesday. Thursday, Els has Thursdays at 3. I'm not sure if Kathy's still doing her panel or not. I know she's having some tests and some medical stuff going on. So I'm really not sure. But Kathy normally also has a live stream on Thursday afternoons. I think it's 2 p.m. Eastern, which is around 11-ish my time. And then Brooke also often goes on between 3 and 4 on Thursday with the Creepy Baby, which I love, but I often miss. I have to watch it in the replays because I'm usually in Elsa's stream. Not always, but usually. I'm going over to check on your payment here. I'm slow moving, but I get there. But I did manage to open up like 6 tabs. I don't know how I did that. Look at that, 6 fresh tabs. All right, let's scroll down here and have a look-see. Got it. So I'll mark you as paid so you can go out in the mail. I should be able to get all of these out tomorrow because they're already mostly done. Carla's and Tina Adams went out today because they're Patreons, and I try and mail those out very firstest, along with people who... Hi, Witchy. How are you? So you're all paid up, and that should go out tomorrow at the latest Wednesday. Pixie Pants is in the house. Yeah. She's never going to live down Pixie Pants. And then on Friday on my channel at 9 o'clock at night Pacific, which is super late on the East Coast, I have my Hanging in the Hollow that's going to happen, where I try and actually craft something and you guys can point and laugh. So how about them apples? Do you guys know of anything coming up? Interesting, fun. And then Elsa's swap meet will be this Saturday. At noon, our time. So that's 1, 2, and 3 across the country. And Ray's going to be there. And I think Laura's going to be there. I will be there. And then I start to lose my, I can't never remember the other sellers, and I'm so bad. Hold on. I can double check on that. I think I can double check on that. I think Curly's on the flea market. And let's see if it's going to tell me. That's all I can remember. I'm not deliberately forgetting anybody's name. It's just my brain is like a sieve. So that's the fun that I know about this week. Do you guys know of any other stuff? Uh-oh. Tina, Ray, Curly. Look, Laura's got the list down. She's on it. Perfect. Look at her. She knows it all. And you know it'll be fast moving and lively because it's on Elsa's channel. I'm not ignoring you or going slow. I'm just also shoving food in my face. If any sale can be a party, it'll be this one. Lots of fun ladies in the house and lots of fun items, I hear. I don't know everything, but I hear little tidbits every now and then. Hey, Brenda, welcome back. Are you still lurking and working over there? All right, so let's pull this off the table. I died my butt off to make that kit happen, and it was so much fun, but also so exhausting. And my shoulder may never forgive me. That's all I'm saying. My shoulders can be like, woman, don't you ever do that again. Because between, in the last 48 hours, I have ironed more than 1,000 sheets of paper. More than 1,000. Just saying. So I'm going to cut some belly bands while we're sitting here. You're lurking and falling asleep, waiting for those grandkids to wind down for the night. That's always a tricky thing here, because there aren't many rules for the grandkids here at the house when they come, when Elsa's grandkids visit, and they love to stay up late and watch TV. Plus, you know, you get a bunch of kids together when it's cousins weekend and they're all here. Oh my gosh. They have so much energy. It's frightening. Oh my God, what? What happened? What'd you miss, Tammy? What happened? Yes, it was a well, think about it. There are 7 colors. It might have been more than 1,000. Let's see. There are 7 colors. There's 750 sheets of tea dyed alone because there's 15 sheets in each pack. And I made enough for 50 packs. Holy macaroni. So let me calculator this for you because I can't math that way in my brain. There are 7 colors and 5 sheets of each color, and then enough for 50 packs. And this is not even including the extra, plus the 750 tea dyed. 2,500 sheets of paper in the last, we'll call it 3 days. So what doesn't wind up is kits will go into the shop as part of the fall release, because I wasn't sure how well received the fall color kit was going to be. So I made enough to make a bunch if enough people wanted to sample the colors. But I also didn't make up all 50 packs. In the event that, you know, not very many sold, then I could put it into the store as stock. So I gave myself a little flexibility there. Did Tammy faints? Don't faint. I iron thousands of sheets of paper every month for the kits. Usually, though, it's a bunch of different sizes. This is the first time I've had to iron like that many full-size sheets of paper, to be perfectly honest with you. Bet y'all thought it was all fun and games, just me with my fingers and dye vats and stuff. No, there's a lot of actual hard work involved in that. Now, strictly speaking, I know there are some. Ironing is not totally necessary. I just like the paper that way. I know plenty of sellers do, you know, they sell theirs au naturel, just the way it comes off the drying racks. Some people like to get it like that, where it's all crinkly and you know, the edges aren't even and all that, and that you've still got the rolled stuff. Some people really like it that way, just as if it came out of the dye vat. I'm just persnickety about my paper. But there's no right or wrong way to do it. I'm not saying my way is right or somebody else's way is wrong at all. I'm just saying, you know, there are different preferences. The paper comes prepared different ways. So, but I don't necessarily enjoy the ironing, but I do enjoy the end effect. Plus, ironing all the paper gives me lots of time to watch movies and TV shows. I can justify it. I have to sit here and iron anyway, right? I might as well enjoy myself. Get a little binge watching in if I want to. Because that's how I roll. And I've decided I'm done with summer. I'm over summer, even though it's only, you know, like the middle of August. Not even quite the middle. We're just slightly before the middle. I decided I am done with summer already. I started on a movie watching and TV show binging campaign, 92 Days of Horror, which I will be, oh shoot, that's the wrong size. Phooey. Okay, that's all right. It will still work. Yeah, 92 Days of Horror. So trying to watch one horror movie a day, a minimum. Like if I sit here and I iron for 8 hours, I will, not an inch. I need 1.5 inches. That's what I get for talking in the middle of this. But so at least one. And if it's not a movie, if I decide to watch like a horror related show, then it has to be a minimum of 2 episodes, because that's about, most shows are like 45 minutes when you binge the streaming, and 2 of those is about as long as the average horror movie. So I could fill up quite a bit of the 92 days just by watching like a TV show that has a couple of seasons, right? So it's my way of, you know, some people have like seasonal affective disorder in the winter. I tend towards depression in the summer, which is probably weird because most people think of summer as being like the happy, fun stuff. But for whatever reason, summer just doesn't agree with me, and I tend to get depressed in the summer. So this is a way to take my mind off it and just have a little fun. Get my mind in a different frame and just really mix it up a little bit. So that's what I've been working on. So I started on August the 1st, and I'll go through October the 31st. And then after that, I always binge Christmas movies, which are the stupidest, sappiest, like Hallmark Christmas movies. Oh my God. But I secretly love them and hate them at the same time. You don't like to. It's not even about sweating. Here in the desert, because I don't do well in the heat and it gets so hot here, I liken it to, although I think it's different because being trapped in the snow is different than, you know, just rushing from one air conditioned place to another. But by and large, for me, that means minimizing the time I spend outside, because my body doesn't react well to the heat. I'm from like European stock, like Sweden, Norway, where I'm from pasty white people. So my body just doesn't handle the heat very well. Hi, Sandra. How are you? So it's not even necessarily about sweat. It's just, for me, it means being inside more, less fresh air, less vitamin D. But so I'm trying really hard to not fall into the usual summer funk, and to just try and you know, really push through this, because if I even miss a day of dyeing and stuff, I'm going to put my time frame off. And, you know, I can't just not show up at live streams and stuff. That sucks. You make commitments to people and you say you're going to do things. You've got to be able to follow through. So I really struggle with the last bit of summer. And here summer doesn't really end until sometime in October. Sometimes even into November. And it can still be hot at Christmas some years in the desert. So, yeah, summer's not my friend. And I know for a lot of people, summer is the best time of year. Like, they're really summer people. They like, you know, all the summer activities, going to the beach and baking in the sun and all that. It's just not for me. I like to stay under my rock. Nice and cozy down there. I can hear Curly yelling at the kids to stay off of her lawn. Well, yeah, it's different. California's a whole nother ball of wax. But, you know, other places where summer isn't so long as it is here. The summer here is as long as winter is for some of the northern states. So you kind of get that sort of same effect. Although you're not snowbound, you still can't really enjoy the outdoors for a good portion of the year. At least I don't feel like you can, you know. That's just me. Some people love it. I have a friend who absolutely loves the desert, still lives in the Phoenix metro area, and swears she's never leaving. Like, the sun and the weather in that area is just, it's, you know, her thing. She loves the heat. She's one of those people, though, that's kind of always cold. So I think that's part of it, even though she, you know, and she traveled a lot for work for a while. So she was in a lot of the, like, the northern states and the ones where it snows for a good portion of the year. And she was like, that's just not for me. So I get it. You know, like, my ideal is her nightmare. We're all different. Oh, that's not going to work right there. Let's take that somewhere in the middle and try that again. No. Well, mangled that one. That one did not work. All right. It's because they got, okay, let me get the scissors. What did you do with the scissors, Amy? I don't know. There they are. Humidity can be another problem for sure. And St. Louis does have its fair share. I lived in South Carolina for a while. Oh my gosh. And I lived in Florida for a very short time. I would not, I know a lot of people swear by it. They retire there. It's their ideal. You couldn't pay me to move to Florida. It's not my, that's another one that's not my cup of tea. Winter, well, same here in Nevada, you know. It's ideal. Winter is the best season. Kat, you're going off to bed. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I appreciate your time and all of that. It's wonderful to get to hang out with you. I certainly don't get to do it enough. Sweet dreams to you. So, yeah. You love the smell outside during winter? It's the desert is different than everywhere else, though. And I kind of miss seasons. Because I've been back in the desert for a little over 10 years. And I'm just ready for some season, I think, eventually. I'm working that way. Get some money saved up. Find myself a job. Start moving in the direction that I want to go. Slowly. Like half a state at a time, maybe. No, I think Canada, well, some parts of Canada are very, very nice. The weather's mild. I know that there's a common perception that Canada's just snow and ice and stuff, but there are some areas that are like Southern California where they grow grapes for wine and stuff. So Canada does have a lot of varied weather. But I think overall it'll probably be a little too cold for me. I have always wanted to go, though, and take a road trip up in Canada. I think that would be marvelous. I think it's gorgeous up there. And I think they still have, a lot more nature than you see here. Are you thinking about doing it, Peggy, or are you just on the fence about that sort of thing? See, Lucy's on it. The weather where she lives is awesome. I have a friend, I don't remember where she lives because we're just online friends, but she lives in a milder area. I know it's close enough that she can go into the United States through New York near Niagara Falls. But that is the extent of my knowledge. We just talk a lot online. She's a writer. And I think she just got a short story published, so she's got good things going on in her life. Just like the weather in Seattle, but less rain. That's probably ideal. My dream place in my head right now, I don't know that I would actually like it, but in my head, I think I like it. I've always wanted to go and live in Oregon or Washington. And Washington, I know, is out of my price. But there are a few areas in Oregon where I could probably afford to live. But getting there, I'd have to get myself a car. Start moving that way. You probably moving for your grandkids. I totally sorry, I got a little frog in my throat right there. Hold on. Oh. I can understand moving where the grandkids are. They're only young once. Gotta enjoy them while you can. For sure. I always have to double check that I'm at the 1.5 inches because sometimes I try it for some reason to do 2 inches and sometimes I do 1 inch. Oh, okay. Ooh, Vancouver Island. Nice. That area is nice. Or so I've heard. I know people that live up in that area, like casually. They're not really good friends. But they talk about it and they make it sound amazing. So it sounds kind of like my kind of place. Els likes the desert because of her back. It's good for her back, which I totally get because, if you've got joint problems or back pain or any kind of arthritis issues, the desert is awesome for that sort of thing. And it's going to do that thing again. Just not like where that is. Nope. Okay, we'll just cut that off right there. We will trim it by hand for that portion. I let the paper slip. That's what's happening right there. There's a portion of each piece left over at the end, so I always put those mangledy ones on the end I cut off. But yeah, so that's kind of what, where my brain's at. And I have thought about, the South, some areas of the South, because the cost of living is less. And if I'm able to, build the business to a point where it's not just dyed paper, it's complementary things, and I can be making a good enough income that a part-time job would do me, then I could totally see myself moving to someplace in the South where the cost of living is less. And, the people are nice, usually. But, yeah. And also, I was a military brat. I grew up in a military family, so we moved everywhere. And kind of the Pacific Northwest is the only area of the country, aside from, like, the upper top states, like North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, that kind of area, that I haven't visited significantly or lived in. And you know me, I like to tick off all the boxes on my list. I've never even visited. I've been in Northern California, which has the sequoia trees too. I worked in Kings Canyon National Park, which is part of Sequoia National Park, which is just south of Yosemite. But I've never actually been to either Oregon or Washington State. So I just, for whatever reason, it's stuck in my head that I need to get there, before I kick the bucket. Jersey's going to come and chat with us for a little bit. She's having a break from her work. She's working and lurking. She's got stuff to do. I heard your sale went really well, Jersey. I slept right through the whole thing. I did. I was up for the early part of it that was on Kara's channel. Oh, I did it again. I cut that one wrong. I was up for the early part on Kara's channel, and I was trying so hard to stay awake for Laura's. But I fell asleep. I actually fell asleep for part of it in my chair. And then I moved over to the bed. Yeah. I've got my Etsy store. I need to add in a bunch of stock. I have a bunch of things I've been holding kind of for a fall product release kind of thing. And it's about time that I start taking the pictures and getting that done. But I can't, I don't think, sustain my living just on dyed paper as much as I love it. I don't think there's a wide enough market, and there's so many people doing it that, there are a few other avenues I can see that would go nicely with the dyed paper. So that's what I'm kind of looking into, and expanding my shop to carry a few other things that, and then, some handmade things. I do make journals, albeit not all that frequently. What kind of design, Steph? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't know how to do marbling. Like, I don't have the equipment. Marbling requires specialized tubs and keratin. I think that's how you say it. There's a special stuff that you put in the water to make the paper, to make the colors float on top, which is something I would eventually like to do in small amounts. Yeah, the packaging up of the stuff is actually the prep work is busy work. It keeps you busy, but the packing up and mailing of everything, that'll really take it out of you. I've got to admit, Jersey, I love to make it and I love to send it out, but the actual packing part, not so much fun. But it's good to get each order packed up and think, all right, that's another one down. I always think I'm sending away joy. With every package I send out, I hope I'm sending away joy. But yeah, if you let me know what kind of designs you're thinking of, like how you envision that, it's something I can look into for doing. I don't know how to do like digi-kits. I don't know how to make those. But it is on my list of things to do. To learn how to do some Photoshop stuff, or some other photo editor, so that I can make some digis at some point. But it's not in my wheelhouse at the moment. Yes, it's a good way to look at it, and it takes some of the bitterness out of the frustration of packing things. Sometimes you have to pack things up more than once because you got to try to get the lowest shipping for people and all that. And you want to make it look nice if you can. Sometimes you can't, just based on the things people buy. Sometimes it's just putting in an envelope and hoping for the best. But I like to think that every time I pack one up and send it out the door, there's a little bundle of joy going out into the world. Helps keep me on track and in the right frame of mind for what I'm doing. Otherwise, you get bitter about your work, I think, or you can have a tendency to. With my personality, I would. If I didn't think about it like that, I might get frustrated with the monotony of it. But because I think of it that way, then I have fun doing it. A little more fun. But it's also another step that as long as I'm not watching something on my computer, that I can watch movies or TV during, which helps pass the time. Or if you have somebody to talk to. Sometimes Els will call Laura or somebody else and talk to them while she's packing orders on Facebook. She'll do a voice call. And that's another way to pass the time, is just to have somebody to talk to. Makes it nice. I don't like to intrude on people, so I rarely initiate contact with people, and I always feel like I'm bothering them when I do. And that's just one of my personality quirks. I know this isn't terribly exciting, but I have to get all this done anyway, and this way I can chat with you and not feel guilty about not being working. This way I get in some fun chat with you guys, because I love hanging out with you guys. It's fun. And it's relaxing. It's nice to just sit and have a little chat with me. Eventually I'm going to figure out StreamYards, and I'll be able to have people on with me, and that will be fun. I would love to have a co-host sometimes on Friday nights, and somebody to go live with on a regular basis, just for crafty fun. But I have not quite figured out StreamYards yet, and if it will be compatible with my old slow-ass laptop. Just saying. Well, the other solution, Steph, is I talk to myself when I craft. I really do. Sometimes Els will come around the corner. She's like, "Did you say something to me?" Nope, I'm talking to myself. The scary thing is occasionally I answer myself. But, you got to do what you got to do, so you make your crafting fun and enjoyable. I think that's why a lot of ladies do videos while they're crafting, because you're talking to someone, but you're not talking to someone. And maybe it feels a little bit less like you're talking to yourself. But I like watching those where people are like when Never Hopeless by Elizabeth is doing her glue book and stuff, and she's talking about her day, and it's just normal everyday stuff, but it's nice to hear somebody else's normal everyday stuff. And I sometimes watch Nicole over at Relax Cut Glue. I've seen quite a few of her videos. I like her commentary on the stuff that goes on outside the window. And she's just fun to listen to. It's relaxing, there's no stress in it. Nothing complicated going on. It's like when Laura says, just relax and glue, relax and glue. And so I try and keep those things in mind when I'm. And every now and then I get to catch Jersey live, and I love to do that. She was on super early in the morning the other day, and I was lurking. It was like 4:30 in the morning here or something like that. And I was like, good Lord, 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning. And I was just lurking and working, and I was grateful to have the stream. The Mary LTA is on a lot, but for whatever reason, I just never really got into her stream. I'll have to try it again, because she's on a lot super early in the morning when I'm awake and working. And she seems like a nice lady. I think it's probably because she's on for hours at a time, and I don't always have hours to commit. But when I work overnight, as people's videos start coming in, like when Never Hopeless comes up in the morning and Nicole over at Relax Got Glue comes over in the morning, I'm like, ooh, a video to watch. The Mary Altier. Are there any mods in the room? Jersey, would you mind if I modded you? I think you're familiar with the Mary Altier. Maybe you have her link. Would you mind if I added you as a moderator? I know you don't come in very often, but you're good people, and I know you know a lot of the people that I don't necessarily have links handy for. But she's on she's on the East Coast, so she's on super early my time. Jersey may be back to working. Let me see if I can find her real quick. Just give me a second. I will pop on over there and see what I can do. My Google Foo is not so good with, with YouTubers, but I think that she's, and I'm not 100% sure how to spell it, so. I know I get notifications for it. Let me see if I have a notification in here recently. Sometimes that's a little bit easier way to go. I don't remember seeing her on this morning. Just bear with me. And I can't see the chat while I'm doing this. So chat amongst yourselves for a minute. Oh, my Google Foo sucks. Here it is. I found her. All right, hold on while I get the link. Oh, it's Mary with an I. That's why I couldn't find it. I had a moment. All right. Let me get the link for her actual channel. Not just a link to a single video. All right, I got it. Oh, Darla. There's Darla. She's got it. Just as I got it, I'll post it in here again just because. Well, I can't see when I'm looking for something, guys. I'm posting it just for good measure. Oh, nice. That sounds like fun, Jersey. I will try and catch that. I'm so bad about catching people live. I'm usually asleep when most people are on live because they've been working late at night. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, though, for future reference, because you usually have good linkables. I'm going to go ahead and add you as a moderator. That way, if in the future it's ever, you ever want to pop in and give us a link for anything, you can do that at your leisure. Okay, well, I should be up in the PM. It's the middle of the afternoon that I'm not lucid for. I'm usually asleep from like 10 or 11 in the morning until sometime between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. That's just the way my schedule is worked out. Because I can run both fans at night in the garage and not run up the electric bill because the electricity is cheaper, overnight after 8 p.m. So I actually do most of my paper processing late at night to save electricity, and I try and make my batches at night too. One, so that the smell of the coffee and the tea doesn't bother Els quite so much. But boiling the water, and especially for a tea or a coffee batch, makes the kitchen and the craft room really humid. And so I try to do it like when she's asleep, or at least at night when it's cooler in the house and the heat's not beating down on the house as well. Oh. So that puts my sleep schedule kind of off of everybody else's, though. And but the Mary Altier is a very good channel. She's a lovely lady. Lots of awesome stuff going on over there. Oh, yep, there's Elsa's channel. And Peggy, do you have a channel or an Etsy shop you'd like to share with us? Darla, do you know a link for that? This could be a link sharing time. Does anybody want to share their channel links? If Darla's got them, I can't mod everybody, but if you guys want to put in a few links to people that you recommend, that would be awesome. I think I watched her before, and I don't know if it was just my frame of mind or if whatever she was doing in that moment wasn't interesting to me. But a lot of people recommend her, so I've got to, I've been trying to give people a second chance, because I get in moods and I don't want to. I get quite bitchy, to be honest. But she's on every morning, so or most every. I won't say every morning. That's a bit of an exaggeration. Nobody's on all the time. We all have to have our breaks. But I heard she's awesome. And she always seems to have, like, her titles are intriguing. Oh, that's a little too far. That's a little past 1.5 inches. But yeah, if you guys want to recommend channels to each other, to some of our newer viewers like Steph, that would be super awesome. Peggy's Etsy. Well, let me go over and let me get that one. Let me click on that and go over there. Let me open it in a new window just in case. I want to navigate away from my own stream. That would be bad. I'm not. I haven't hearted Peggy shop. I'm a horrible human being. Okay, I favorited Peggy shop so that I can look at all the fun stuff in there at a later time. So Jersey Crafter is Laura S. And our witchy is Laura F. And of course we have Laura V who comes in sometimes. And Laura V is master of all the scraps in the world. I don't think she has content, but she loves her scraps. And she is an amazing lady. I like chatting with her. I was not aware, like until I saw the vintage button jar beside her name, I was not aware that you had an Etsy, and I thought that's probably the name of her Etsy shop. But yeah, definitely. Let's share some links up in here. And Laura's, there's so many Lauras. Oh my gosh. Well, there's me, Amy. There's Crafting Amy. There's Ami. And I think there's one other Amy that I've seen floating around. So there's not even just one of me anymore. That's why I like to be called Hags. There's not even one of those. There's Old Hag. Not even the only one of those. I'm the only one with colored fingers, though. Hey, Carla B, welcome back. Oh, we're just talking about, we're sharing links to channels that we enjoy and just talking about, similarities in names. We have lots of Lauras, several Carlas, only one Darla. Oh, thank you, Carla. That's awesome of you. I appreciate that. Oh, I just tried to cut that at 1 inch. Look at me. Look at me not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm hoping if I cut this many belly bands, I won't need to cut any for the end of the month. What's a crochet mask ear saver? I have no idea. Are you giving Steph a hard time, Laura? Well, we gotta give Pixie Pants a little bit of shit. That's how we show our love around here. You're the only you. Yes, you are. You're the youest you around. Do, 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 do. I always finish a kit, and I think I'm going to come back in a couple of days and cut some more belly band so I don't have to do it at the last minute. Oh my, it's getting a little spanky in here. I go back to sleep, Pixie Pants. Y'all are silly. Yeah, I like it when we share each other's stuff, you know, our links to our channels. And since YouTube has made it such a pain in the butt to find anybody, that's how we got to do it now. Sometimes we just need to have a link up where we just share links of our stores and our channels, talk about what we're making and what projects we're working on. That is always a good thing. ASMR. I do that with deli paper sometimes, or window envelopes. Once they're dyed, they make the most wonderful crinkly noises. ASMR is pretty popular out there. It's not my cup of tea, but I see lots of videos for it floating around. Some sounds are just very pleasing. Right, Twitchy? It's about the size of it. All right, so let's see. Do you know, Laura, are you guys going to be on tomorrow for the One Witch and Crazy Lady? And whose channel are you going to be on? Because I wasn't sure. I know you didn't have the Witch and Crazy Lady. It was just the Lunatics last week. And so I wasn't sure whose channel it was going to be on this week. You have no idea. Okay. Well, let's just see what comes up. Hopefully I'll get a notification. One can hope. If YouTube is being amenable and all that. Laura V, is that? It's official. There are 3 Lauras in the house. One in the box, anyway. Yeah, and she was an hour earlier on the Lunatics than usual. I was still confused. She was not live at like 6, and it was like 6:30, and I'm like, I messaged her. I'm like, are you going live? Like, it's after 6 o'clock. And she was like, no, we're not doing it. So all I heard was, no, we're not doing it. And the next thing I know, she's halfway through Late Night Lunatics, and I get the notification. I was like, well, alrighty then. Thanks, YouTube. Let's see. Okay, so we'll look for it on your channel. If you want to post a link here for your channel, we would be happy to have it. Well, it was on at an unusual time. I missed half of it because I didn't get a notification. And since I heard no Witch and Crazy Lady, I just went, okay, no lives tonight. You are not a number 2. We will not be having any of that shenanigans. We have the most awesome Lauras in the room. We get the best Lauras around here. There is a sale. The swap meet is coming up this Saturday. I think that is, let me double check the date because I keep saying it wrong. It's Saturday the 15th, and so it's like a swap meet. There'll be, Els is not selling herself. She's hosting 5 other sellers. And she'll be choosing the order of the sellers in her live this Thursday at 3 o'clock. So there'll be Laura, Ray, Witchy, Curly. We'll all be selling. There's 5 sellers, I know for sure. And starting at noon on Saturday the 15th. And we're calling it a swap meet. It's a virtual swap meet. She's been brewing this idea since, I think November or December last year, and it's just taken this long. She wanted to start it over the summer because, swap meets, you kind of think of that as a summer thing. And to get all the logistics worked out of how it was going to be hosted and, what kind of rules and policies there wanted to be. But at long last, it's finally here. Pacific, so it's noon our time here, which is 1, 2, and 3 across the country. Right? 200 minutes. That is no lie. You'll be like, live, no live. Then you'll get this notification. You'll think, ooh, oh boy. And then you go there and they're like signing off. They're like, well, we've been on for 3 hours. We're going to close this down for the night. And you're like, ah, I feel you on that one. That happens to me all the time. Cool, your time zone challenge. Me too. That's why I say it like that. Actually, Elle started saying it like that, and I copied her because it makes it easier for me to remember. I have a harder time going from East Coast backwards. Then you can actually see the gears turning and the steam coming out of my ears when I'm trying to go backwards from East Coast to Pacific time. It's not pretty, people. It's not pretty. When you try to math the time zones. Still math, right? Still confusing. I've made that papyrus dye, that yellowy brown color. And it took all 3 of us to math the formula on that to get it right for the amount of dye to put in there. I'm like, we are 3 grown-ass adults in, around 50 years old. And we're all struggling to do the math on a basic formula for dyeing, using dye. Hey, Barbara, how are you? Haven't seen you in a hot minute. Hope you are doing well. It's lovely to have you in this evening. You're doing great. That is awesome. Glad to hear it. We like to hear good news around here. Oh my God, yes, in Roman numerals. When the copyright date is in Roman numerals, I have to punch that stuff into Google. And Google's like, all right, you dumb bitch, this is what it is. Yeah, I don't want to be taught. Just tell me the answer. Just math it for me. My brain hurts. And, none of us is particularly stupid, but you should have seen us with that formula for the dye color. I'm like, all righty then. We could have made that any more complicated. It's Saturday. Let me go double check. I'm going to go out and ask Alice because she's doing some work out there, but I'll go whisper in her ear and ask her. Alice? Walking's on Saturday, right? 15th? All right. Double check. It's definitely on Saturday the 15th, 12 noon. I got it straight from Bima's mouth. Facebook group says the 16th. My Facebook group or hers? Let me go double check that. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I'll let her know about that and we'll get something updated on there. Because it's definitely going to be a Saturday. It's going to be on Saturday. It's no extra time. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm still dyeing paper for that sale, and it's Monday, happening on Saturday. I have so much work ahead of me. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, and thank you. If you would like to thumb up, just don't feel obligated. You can thumbs down if you want. That's all right too. You don't have to love everything I do. That is okay. I'm trying to, this is the thing. I make these kits every month, and at the end of every month, I have used every last belly band. There's like a belly band that doesn't match any other belly band. And I think, okay, in a couple of days, I'll get out my scrapbook of paper and I'll pick some papers and I'll just sit and cut and, watch a TV show, or maybe I'll go live and talk to people. Well, I do this. Not that it's fun for you to watch, but at least I can, be having a lovely conversation while I do one of the most boring things on the planet. And then I don't do it. And so the time comes to pack up the kits and I need the belly bands and I don't have any. And so I'm frustrated because it's time. And, I'm always down to the wire because that's how I roll. And I have to sit there and angrily cut belly bands, like dozens and dozens of them. Get 30 kits takes a lot of belly bands because it takes 2 of these sheets of paper to make 1 belly band. And so I thought, as long as I'm cutting some for the last of this month's kits, I should cut some and get ahead. And since I was coming on to do the unwind, I thought, what better way to do that than to just cut some paper. I probably won't cut a bitch, but I'll cut some paper. I'll tell it who's boss. Sort of. Yeah, so I know that the activity is not particularly interesting to you guys, but I get to have a nice chat with you guys, and I get something done that, I'm always like, dang it, I wish I'd listened to myself. So earlier when I was in the break, while I was cooking a little bit of food for myself in the microwave, I was like, let me pull out a bunch of paper, and I will cut these belly bands. And that way I will just have a giant stack of them. I'd like to go when the next time Michael's has a sale and they're doing like the $5 ones or the buy one, get one half off. I want to get a fall or winter kind of one of those 180 sheet packs where it's the paper, because this kind is my favorite for making the belly bands out of. And I always wind up saving a few sheets because I'm like, oh, that sheet's too nice for belly bands. I don't know what that says about me that I'm like, that's too nice for a belly band. But I need to get a new pack because I'm just using, like, I know we all don't want to say it, but there's some ugly paper in every paper pack. And I've been using the ugly paper. And I'm kind of over the ugly paper. I want something pretty to cut up and use. Some of this is okay and some of it's ugly, I'll admit. This pad is, I think it might be, hold on. Let me pull out the pad I was using. Yeah, it's a DCWV, and I got it for, so this must have been from Tuesday morning, maybe, and it was on sale. It was less than the $9.99, but I buy these ones for the belly bands, and this one had just had a variety of papers, and none of them are super ugly, but some of them are like, I would never put that on as a journal page. You can send me all the ugly paper you want. You'll be getting it back as belly bands. I like cardstock paper, but my preferred paper to use, because you can dye the back of it, is the DCWV, the ones that are paperweight. They're heavier than copy paper, but not so thick that, because there's even like 2 weights of cardstock that comes in scrapbooking paper. And I like the thinner of the cardstock ones. But some projects require that heavier stuff. And I actually don't have that much. But yeah, so I go and I buy when it's on sale, or if I can find it Tuesday morning on sale, those 180 count pads. I usually buy a couple at a time because I go through a lot of paper. And I used to put a thinner piece of paper in the middle, like from book pages. But since I moved, I haven't found any paper that I like for that. It's a good size. So I'm still looking for something that will work. Because I miss the look of the double band. And she's got that right. Family is always more important. Absolutely. You like the sound of cutting paper? You know, I actually have a new cutting blade and I haven't put it in yet. I'm not even sure where it is right now. My desk is such a hot mess. I can't even tell you. Because I was crafting and I was doing the paper packs and then I was crafting some more and then I did mixed media. Oh, such a mess. And I've thought about just putting the paper in there without the belly band, but I did it once, like I set it up where I had done a couple packs like that and I looked at it and I just don't like it. So, I mean, like, I don't have to do the belly bands, but I love to, you know, I like the presentation. Yeah, those are good. You hate this paper trimmer? I'm sorry. What did my paper trimmer ever do to you, man? Just minds its own business. This is secondhand for me. This is not my preferred paper trimmer either. But I wasn't able to bring mine with me when I moved. So this one is, this was given to me to use. And it does the job, but it's not my preferred either. Eventually I'll get a new one that I like better. But it gets the job done, and it's also a scoreboard, so that'll work. I have a hard time, like I cut wrong all the time, so I have to be extra careful about lining the paper up because I'll get it a 1/4 of an inch wrong in either direction, and either way to trim it down, you know, is a pain in the butt because trimming a 1/4 inch off something that's already small doesn't work so well, and you can't put back a 1/4 inch once you cut it short. I got that 360 page pad of Susan Winger paper. Oh, 360 pages. Oh my God. That is so much paper. I kind of have paper envy right now. I can do up to 3, but I have to hold it really steady, and I still get some creep. So at the end, I always wind up with a little bit of waste, no matter how hard I work at it. But I just figure that's part and parcel of this cutter. And since I got it for no charge, I'm not gonna knock it. It'll work for now till I find, you know, till I can afford to get one I like better, to get the one I had, which isn't, you know, well, it wasn't the top of the line, but I liked my paper trimmer. It worked for me. I've discovered with this one, it's better to cut from this end and pull down than it is to go up. Although it works both ways better if you have a brand new blade in it. Like I said, I should have changed the blade the minute that pack came in. I have no idea where it is at the moment. The oldest rule is true. Measure twice and cut once. You can't undo that. And if you've only got one sheet of whatever it is you're working on, you better be double careful, because you can't undo that. It's just like you can't take the salt out of the pan once you put it in there. Just saying. Sometimes sometimes it gets stuck at either end, so I just start in the middle and kind of work my way in the other direction. But for the most part, I find for this trimmer, it's better if I start at this end. Yeah, you got to be careful about making sure you've got it leveled on, it's not on the screen, but on this end. Nope, still not on the screen. Okay, let's put it up here. It has to be level all along here, not riding up in any way, because with the way this slopes, the paper has a tendency to rise up on this side, and that it's also lined up down here on this part. So it's got to be lined up exactly without riding up over here, and without drift. The paper has a tendency to drift this way. So I'm extra careful, and I hold it really firm and all that. Just takes a little finagling. I have a rotary blade one that Elle's got for me at the thrift store. It needs a new blade, and I just can't afford it right now. I have stuff I need to buy for the business before I... rough edges on the belly bands is no big deal to me, because I kind of like that look. And if I have to cut anything that's for something that I'm going to sell or that I want a cleaner cut, I go and I beg Els to either cut it for me or to let me briefly use her trimmer that's got a better blade on it. But I have one of those big rotary blade cutters, the black one that Els has. I just need a new blade on it. Let's see. Oh, here, look. There's, I got the blade. I did get, there's the blades right there. Let's see if I can get this blade out of here now. Sometimes I can't get the blade out. Sure. The blade is smarter than me. I reached into a pile of stuff and just whipped that out of there. You know, sometimes this thing just falls out for no reason, but when you want it to come out on its own. There's some trick I don't know about. It's an okay for a cutting board, but overall, this is really not my favorite. Oh, here we go. I got it to pop out. Jeez, that was painful. So let me open this one. And a 2-pack of these on Amazon is like $8. I hope it stays sharp for a while. I've never actually had to buy a replacement for this one, because when I had it before, I only ever used it as a scoreboard. Oh my God, the whole package is smarter than me. All right, there's one. All right, now I have to find a safe spot to put. All right, if anybody's watching this and I'm later grousing about I can't find it, I put it in my little wooden shelf that's behind my computer where the orange camera is. So we'll see if I can find it later. All right, so there's the new blade. It's pokey sharp. Let's put it in here, see what happens. All right. All right. I have not tried aluminum foil, but I'm going to save this blade. And I will give that a shot because they are expensive. I like to have backups because, you know, stuff just goes wrong. But now I have backups, so I will attempt to. I heard somebody say you could sharpen them also with a nail file. But I have never been able to master that maneuver, even though I have watched videos on it. Ooh, that's a little bit smoother of a cut. Check that out. I miss my rough edges. Oh, is it attached to the, I'm supposed to attach it to the board? Oh, I just put it in the drawer. But later on I'll be like, what did I do with that? What extra blade? Oh, it's smooth like butter. The blade's been needed to be changed for like 6 months. I was like, okay, I'll wait till next time, next sale, you know. The truth is, I'll really make enough money with the business to pay my rent here, buy my necessities, and put the money into the next paper pack. So, which is good. But I have dreams of someday having the business working so that it provides slightly more income than that. But I know I have to expand beyond just the basic paper. And I'd actually love to get my own place so that I could have a couple more tables than I do. Because if I lived alone, I could use, whatever living room in the apartment I live in to dye the paper, and I could have several tables set up in there, and I wouldn't be interfering with anybody else's life. Just saying. Not that I don't like living with Els and Mike. They're wonderful people. But I have this idea in my head of how I would like the business to work. Where the bone, I don't keep the bone folder on here either. I know when I got it, it was like, it goes down here. The bone folder for this one goes right in this thing. There's like a slidey thing on this side. But I don't think on this one there's a place to put it. Oh, maybe right here. Maybe it goes right here. That could be a thing. Okay. I've learned a new. So let me I can put this one there. This used one. So that I can remember to sharpen it. Check it out. It did. It worked. You guys are so smart. Look, there it is. Now I'll have it for later when I want to sharpen it. Hi, Kristen. How are you? Welcome. Nice to see you. So I have learned a new thing today. You guys are such smarty pants. You have the best advice. Like butter. I remember the first time I made one of these blades dull, and I was sad. But I was making those ring-bound journals, and I made so many that I dulled 3 blades doing it over the course of about a month and a half. People in the box. Yep, crafting with Kristen with a K. I remember when we used to have 2 or 3 Kristens as well, and we had to be like Kristen with an I, Kristen with an E. They are. The people in the box are the best. They have great advice. They are fun to chat with, and they're just all around awesome people. I think we have some of the best people on YouTube in the crafting community. Really, really do. Because you ladies are awesome. So I know sometimes you get belly bands with ugly paper, and I apologize, but that really is the best use of that paper. Just saying. I don't intentionally do it. It's just, it happens when I run out of paper pads and they're not on sale, or I don't have money. A lot of times when Michael's has their sale, I feel like they manage to somehow deliberately time it for exactly when I don't have money. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait till the next round. It all comes in cycles. But I always feel like right after I've spent the last of my money, somebody goes, there's a sale at Michael's, or, or I find a really good one at Tuesday morning, but I don't have the money for it. Story of my life, man. Story of my life. When the stars align, it shall happen. It's drifting. The paper's drifting. Ooh, now it's cut the 3 sheets like butter. I like it. This is the best thing I did all night. Can't buy anything expensive this month. Those blades were, is there only 2 in here? Nope, there's 3. These blades were $8, but I was flush when I bought them. It was right after the last sale. I'm like, you go in and you buy new blades right now because you'll put it off for another month, and then you'll be cursing your unsharp blade every time you have to cut something. So I made myself spend the money on it this month. We don't want to make you buy anything expensive, Kristen. Nobody has to buy anything to be in here. I'm perpetually broke. Who are we kidding? I put all my money in dye and paper. Oh my gosh. And the last 2 months, I have less than a ream of paper, and I have a couple of days before my paper gets here. I'm stressing. I'm sweating a little bit. I'm going through a whole case of paper that's 2,500 sheets a month for the last 2 months, trying to prep up for fall. The acrylic blocks that you put the stamps on. Oh my God, I cut that the wrong size. Got carried away with myself. Those are called acrylic blocks. The clear ones that you put the stamps onto and it sticks to them. That is an acrylic. I know the answer to that one. Those are lovely. I think, oh, not an inch. That's what you get for talking while you're working. All right, so now we have one that'll be good for tags and smaller stuff. Ooh, we're getting near the end of the pile. Some things on Amazon are very expensive. I will go with you on that. Sometimes Amazon is not the cheapest option. I shop around. I check Amazon, Etsy. I will sometimes go look at Walmart.com depending on what it is. And sometimes it's just cheaper to buy it in a local shop if you have the transportation to get there. Amazon, I used to find that a lot of stuff was a really good deal on Amazon, and I don't think that's so much the case anymore. I think it's a little bit, things changed after COVID, but also the prices were just going up higher before that. I think competition and all that has changed the pricing on Amazon somewhat. And then since COVID, their shipping is really all over the place. Sometimes you get stuff the next day. Sometimes it takes 3 weeks. It doesn't really seem like there's any rhyme or reason to it. And some weird stuff. Just saying. And then there's the whole thing with the mail taking 85 years to get where it's going. People are telling me today and yesterday they're just now getting packages that were mailed out at the end of the month last month. I'm like, that's a really long ship time. Normally that stuff's there in 3 or 4, 5 days at the most. And now it's taking like 10 days or longer. I think that's a little bit. I know they're having a truck driver shortage though around the country. So that's probably some of it. I usually let Prime deliver it whenever they want because I can't necessarily. Sometimes they charge you to get next day, and sometimes it's free. I get next day when I can, but if they're charging extra for it, I just let them deliver it whatever time frame they want. That's how I roll. Oh, well, I might buy into that conspiracy theory. They are getting to be kind of a monopoly. Not across the board, but they really don't have any major competition. And so I've noticed prices are creeping. Their subscription for Prime has been increasing over the last few years. Yeah. So I'm not always necessarily super happy with Amazon, but one thing it is very convenient. And since I don't have a car, I have relied heavily on Amazon in the past. And I don't know that going forward, when I'm in that position again, that I would rely quite so heavily on Amazon, because I have found that their prices on a lot of things are more expensive than in the store, and that did not used to be the case. Oh, that's nice, Steph, but the rest of us aren't in that boat. I do it for some things just because, I dye paper, and sometimes the best way to get it in bulk, is through Amazon. But I've been looking more and more for getting things at the original source instead of through Amazon. So if I can find a seller's shop, like instead of buying on Amazon used books, I'll go to thriftbooks.com instead, because they're one of the biggest sellers of used books on Amazon. Sometimes I use Abe Books. They're pretty good on their prices. Amazon's just convenient, and so I have defaulted to it for a very long time. But honestly, I've been looking at, getting closer to the source if I can, wherever I can. Sometimes I can't buy enough bulk to qualify to buy from some sellers of paper goods. But I've got my eye on it. I'd like to save up and buy one of those giant pallets of paper and have paper for the next 5 years. But I'm with you. I think that they're getting to be a bit of a monopoly, and their customer service really does bite. It's hard to get a hold of people. Sometimes you get somebody really nice. Sometimes you get a total dick. Their drivers fling a lot of the drivers fling the packages towards your house and run away. Hi, Shelly. How are you? Yeah. Well, I'd have to live in a different situation, and I couldn't even live in an apartment and have that done. But the price you get for buying it in that kind of bulk is way better than buying it by the case. I got to tell you. So if I knew I were going to be at this for another 5 years and I had the room, I would buy an entire pallet of paper, because it would allow me to offer, slightly less price too. Now, if I could just find a way to get the dye cheaper, I could start going with more natural things, like doing some cabbage and various teas and herbs. Because I know with turmeric, you can get a nice bright yellow. But I don't know enough about natural dyeing. It's something I need to research. And I've always wanted to eco dye, but Rosemary's already the queen of eco dyeing, and I don't want to step on her toes, because she makes some really, really amazing stuff. But yeah, I've been thinking about what my options are, because people have said to me, how I feel about, because the dyes I use are fabric dyes, and they have chemicals in them. They are not non-toxic for the most part. But when I dye, most of the batches, when I pull the paper out, the water is clear. The paper has sucked up all the dye. I really don't put that much chemicals back into the, right? Oh my gosh, break the glass in your squirrel door. Amazon, Walmart, eBay all have multi-sellers, so I choose where my item is coming from. I do the same thing, Carla. I price check everything across platforms. Or some grill products. I know, right? That's embarrassing when that happens. It's rude and it's not okay. It's not okay for them to do that. I ordered once from eBay a used typewriter, and the guy had a video of a test of the typewriter and everything. And so I ordered it because I wanted it for mixed media and for some of my journaling, so I could type up. I like the way it looks. And I saw this because I was home and my blinds were open. This is when I lived in Scottsdale. It came UPS. The driver brought it up to cook. So how can I do this? This is my porch, and we'll say this end is my door. So it opens like that. And then there's a sidewalk here, and there's a little flower bed right here. So the guy comes to right about here where he's kitty corner with the porch, and there's the flower bed right here. This is probably a 20 or 30 pound box. He chucks it toward my porch in the rain. I heard it hit. And before I could get out the door to say something to him, he was back in his truck and driving away. I was so mad. I don't generally get mad about, I know they're just trying to do their jobs and stuff, but, and it said fragile all over the box and everything. He ruined it. He broke it. And there was no way to get the money back because I didn't opt for insurance. And it wasn't the seller's fault that the driver threw it like that. Well, they're supposed to have discreet packaging for that kind of stuff, Steph. You're not supposed to have your goodies. I mean, at my age, I just don't care. I'd walk around with it over my head if I thought it would help. Get out of my way. But, yeah, I can see your point, definitely. All your neighbors don't need to know what you're getting in the mail. That's your business. So I've had that happen a couple of times with stuff. And it's not always fragile, but it's like they assume every package is chuckable, like they're going long for it. Well, and one day he's going to have something that's too heavy or just hits wrong and shatters your door. And I know they assume that most people aren't home when they're doing that shit, so you'll never know. But a lot of people have like cameras that take video or photographs when somebody comes up to their door or into their yard. So a lot of that stuff winds up on YouTube, and it seems like they're just getting more and more shameless about it instead of better. It makes me go grrr. That's all I'm saying. Grrr. Hi, Ray. How are you? How are you doing? How's your prep coming for the Saturday sale? Getting right along there? This is the last one. So yeah. So now we've had our bitch about delivery drivers. Don't even get me started on the USPS. Oh, I had such a high opinion of my local post office in Scottsdale, and I just am not impressed at all by Las Vegas post office system. Totally different vibe. Totally. Nice. I like it. I like it. You already broke into it. Woohoo! This is that 360 page pack of paper that you got from Curly? You broke the seal on that baby? I know it's hard to use stuff because you're like, I may never get more. But paper is for using and loving and making stuff out of. Sending joy out into the world, or giving yourself joy by making beautiful things. You become like Smaug and The Hobbit, where you're hoarding all your treasures jealously, but never using or truly enjoying them. Oh, yes, that first page. It's so full of angst, isn't it? And you don't want to, like, tear the sheet wrong, bend the paper. When you really love a paper pad, it's hard to use, but also fun. Unless you make crap. Hey, now, all crafting is crap to somebody, and to other people, it's beautiful stuff. No matter what you make, somebody's not going to like it. But I know for a fact that you do not make crap, Tammy. And there's Jersey saying hi. I write the precious. I had the other day, we went to the store when we went to pick up Elsa's print job at the printer. She stopped at the store, the Dollar Tree, so I could get a couple of sodas. And I got a root beer and an orange soda. And I was like drinking the root beer with the orange soda in my hand. She's like, "You really gonna drink both of those?" I'm like, "I might." I had a my precious moment right there over 2 bottles of soda because I don't actually drink it that often anymore. And how's that for some belly band action? Who's got belly bands now? Right, Jersey? Tomorrow is not promised. Might as well enjoy it today. Halloween paper. I'm making, on Friday, I'm going to be back to working on, let me get it down here, my Halloween flippy flappy folio thingy that I got off Brooke's channel, where she was making a Christmas version of it. But, you know, I'm in Halloween mode, so I'm like, I'm going to make a Halloween thing out of this. So I'm turning it into a Halloween thing. So I have started it. I'm still working on it. And you can make fun of me if you want. That's fine. Point and laugh, people. Point and laugh. So this is what I'm making right now. So this one has to be backward. Which one? Wait, no, this one has to be. I glued the stuff in backwards or upside down in this one. So now we have to open it this way. This is actually the front. But as you can see, oh, maybe it's not. Wait, am I wrong? No, yeah. This is supposed to be the front. No, I'm confused. Hold on. The flappy thing goes, so it's supposed to go this way. So this is the back. But look, all the stuff is upside down if I put it that way. So now this is the front. We're going to just go with the Japanese way of opening the book and go about it backwards. But I got to start on it. This is Martha Stewart paper that I have left over from a couple of years ago. And Brooke had made, based on Joie de Fille's design, this flippy flappy envelopey thing. And I had started decorating it, but I was not paying attention. And I made it backwards and upside down. So that one goes backwards. Yeah, I couldn't really figure out anything else to do with the paper because, you know, I don't want to cover it up. But so these are fun to make. So that's the front of this one. And I added in, I've already started making some additions, but it starts with these pockets. And you do like the flippy flappy thing, so it's exciting that way. So when you open it, you're flippy flapping things around. And I put an extra one here, and there'll be some pockets here and here. And then to the back of it, different from Joie de Fille's design, Brooke had another thing that folded out like this, and it had a little signature sewn in it. So it was like a little journal on the back, like a hidden journal. So that's ultimately where I'm going with it, but I'm moving slow. So, and then this is the third one. So I had started decorating that one as well, but I actually managed to get this one the right way around. So it's supposed to go like this. So, oops, and that goes on the inside. But that's what I'm making. I'm doing that on Friday nights at 9 o'clock Pacific time. That's one of the things I'm working on. And Ray is rolling on the aisles. Yes, I cut all of those on this live in the last 105 minutes. That's all I did while flapping my gums at the same time. They can all attest that I talked for most of that. But you can make tags out of the Halloween paper, like the fancier stuff. You can cut it into tag shapes. You can make a folio like that. There's lots of folio projects. If you just look up, what are they called? There's a lot of envelope folios or, somebody help me out. My words are failing me. So I'm just starting out, and both Brooke and Joie made their own envelopes, but I had dyed envelopes from the shop, so I was using those. Got to use my own products. And I made these envelopes a while back too. I haven't glued it down yet because I'm not sure if I want to decorate the inside a little bit maybe, or if I just want to leave that where it's just open. But so I'll probably be sealing that up at some point. But that's the only homemade one. The rest of them are dyed from various paper kits. And this was decorated on one side in white, so I used some of the orange and green paper from previous kits. I did the same thing in this one where I lined it with the orange and green paper. And so it's fun. I've enjoyed working on it. And then this one had a design on both sides. So I used black cardstock, and I'm still working out the logistics on this one, on what kind of pockets I want to make. Joie de Fille and Brooke both. That book, that's one thing you can do with it, but it's just like it's a folio. It's where you fold it out and you keep ephemera in it, or you do like a flow journal with it sort of thing. My words are failing me. But if you look up folios, mixed media folios and stuff like that, you can get lots of ideas for the base of a project, and just use your papers instead of whatever they're using. Yeah, but I told the story of every month I do the kits, and these will be gone in 30 days because I use them in every kit, and I make 30 to 50 kits at a time. But every month I get to the end, and I'm like furiously cutting them at the beginning and at the end, because at the end of every month I say, I'm going to sit down in a couple of days and I'm just going to cut out some belly bands while I watch TV or while I talk to Els. And then I don't do it. So the time comes to pack up the kit, and I'm there, muttering to myself and saying mean things to myself because I didn't cut those belly bands. So I thought, since I was unwinding with you guys, I should cut some belly bands. And so I did. I used that paper pad that I just showed you from DCWV, and it has 3 designs 3 pages for each design. So I just took out 3 of about half of the pad and cut it up into 1.5-inch strips. And that's what we're going to have on our packs for the rest of the fall ones, and for the burgundy. That's what you've got a preview of what the belly bands are going to look like. All right, to that end, we have been on live for 108 minutes, and I have been flapping away. Oh, I'm glad I could keep you company, and that we could all keep you company. I talk about nothing in particular, but I do manage to talk the whole time. So I think we're going to be wrapping it up. Does anybody have anything they want to announce, or anything they know is going on? Now's the time to do it. Oh, thank you, Tammy. And Carla's been fussy cutting, or as we call it around here, cussy cutting. I've got some serious fussy cutting to do myself. I've got so much magazine stuff to get fussy cut and cut into nice, neat squares and stuff like that. I gotta find my corner rounder, and I'm missing a couple of other things. I think that's just kind of fallen off the side of my desk into the void on either side. Yep, we do all like to call it cussy cutting around here. So I thank you guys for letting me cut belly bands while I chatted with you. It was lovely hanging out with you. Thank you, Shelly, for coming. It was great to see you in both lives. I really appreciate you coming by. Yes, Bemis Flea Market this weekend. Happy Ray will be selling. That's on Saturday the 14th at 12 noon Pacific time. That's 1, 2, and 3 across the country. The One Witch and One Crazy Lady show possibly tomorrow on Laura F's channel. And, you know, other stuff going on this week. I have enjoyed hanging out with you guys. However you're spending your days and nights, I hope it brings you great joy and happiness. Each and every one of you absolutely deserves it. Thank you for coming in and visiting with me. Until I see you in one of my lives or in a box somewhere else, I wish you the happiest of crafting. Bye, 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 bye. The end.